Welcome, dear friend. In this video I'm going to take you through a walkthrough of a sample Solang Solidity based Solana program or Solana smart contract. So it's going to be a walkthrough because as you begin to transition from Solidity on Ethereum or any other IVM blockchain, it's interesting for you to go through real life code examples, how these codes are being implemented, to learn a lot with other things you are learning from the basic of Solidity or Solang Solidity and more. So if this interests you, make sure you watch to the end of the video. And in case you are new to this channel, I am Solomon Foske, founder of dProgrammingUniversity, where we create free Web3 development courses and deep dive, do a lot more content that's available for you on dProgrammingUniversity.com. You can head straight to it and start enrolling for the free courses, and at the same time subscribe, tap the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming videos. Now, before we move on, I have a disclaimer and a disclosure for you. The disclosure is we may invest, trade, take bounty, grant, or compensation in token or whatever form before, during, or after publishing any of our content on dProgrammingUniversity, including this, but we try our best to make the content as helpful as possible. Now, the disclaimer is, please, this content that we create at dProgrammingUniversity is for educational purpose only. It is not development advice, it is not trading advice, and it is not advice to invest in any project we discuss about. Please do your own research, and your continuation to use part or full of this content means you agree that we will not be liable for any losses you may incur thereafter. So if you agree with that, that being said, let's get back to the purpose of today's video. Like I told you, I want to take you through a walkthrough of a live sample Solana program code so that we can have a bit of how does things get implemented actually in the real life code. And if you are new, I have started a series where I took you from being a beginner, you have been developing or just starting to develop on Solidity, on Ethereum or other EVM blockchain. Then we've taken you through every of the process you need: intro to Solana, how to set up development environment, and a lot other things, including deploying your first Solidity based Solana smart contract with Solang and Anchor. So make sure you check that out as well. Now, for us to have a walkthrough, I already also have a guide that will be following step by step, which you can get on dProgrammingUniversity, or I may as well optionally if I link it in the description below. So now we have the content outline. Once you get there, you can always check it out. It will be there and helpful. So let's get started with the intro. Like I've told you, we'll get the walkthrough, and if you are stuck, we have a dedicated Solana channel. I've created it inside the server, so go there. In the link in the description, we have the Discord server. Join it and go to Solana to ask your question for any of the Solana content that you watch or read on dProgrammingUniversity. I'll be there to support you. Now, what are the prerequisites for you to go through with me with this code walkthrough? Before that, I want also talk about why walkthrough code as a developer, like I've told you, is good for you to go through live code. So you've been learning about Solidity, you've been learning about Solang Solidity, learning about Solana. So it's time you try to as well go through live code to learn more and see how those things are actually being implemented. So that's part of what bring about this series, and I hope, let me know in the comment what you feel, and maybe some other Solana Solidity Solang based project you want me to also take you through a walkthrough to understand how it works, how it was put together. Now let's look at the prerequisite. The first for you to take this course is that this walkthrough is that, one, you have to have knowledge in Solidity programming, because if you don't understand the programming language, there's no how you can understand the code I will be trying to explain for you in this walkthrough. So it's so essential, and I have a beginner course for you to develop your first smart contract with Solidity. So you can go through, is a full course with exercise, vote, video, and more like that. It's 100% free for you to take. Then the second one is Solang. So if you don't know what Solang is, we have a dedicated guide for you on it that will help you. Is a fully ultimate guide you can see on Solang, how to set it up, moving you from Solidity on Ethereum to Solidity on Solana. So everything is right there with a dedicated video playlist as well. You can check on this channel for it, dedicated about 8 series of video from beginner to deploying your first Solang Solidity smart contract. So that is also important. Then the third one is set up Solana development environment for Solang Solidity. So this is very important as well. For you to follow the walkthrough, you need to have your Solana development environment set up, especially it should be able to accommodate for Solang as well. So interestingly, this guide has you covered, and as well I have a video here step by step. You can just play through this guide and watch me set up everything you need. Now that being said, let's now move to the full Hello-Solana, or call it Hello World Solang Solidity Solana program example code walkthrough. So we are going to be taking it step by step. If you have questions, like I said, ask in the comment, or better still in the Solana channel on our Discord if you want a much better response there. Now the first thing, we are going to use this repo, which is official repo from Solana Lab. That's the Solana developer. So we go there. This is the repo we are going to be using actually to, this is full of a lot of examples you can go through. So I encourage you to go through this repo. There are a lot of them, but in the future I will likely also be taking some other one. And if you have anyone you want to suggest me to check out and do a walkthrough next, you can as well let me know in the comment or in the Discord as well. So but for now, you can have a brief run through of the intro, which tells you how the platform was organized. Actually, it's organized in like 3 to 4 folder in one, and now you have some like basic compression, token. These are examples that relate to token examples, some basic example where we have like the Hello World or Hello-Solana smart contract and some other things like that. So you can read through. It's interesting, and if you are looking for exercise to do as well, you can take some of this challenge and develop Solang Solidity based examples for others to follow, like we are doing in this video, and probably might be compensated by the Solana Lab developer team. So now the next step is we are going to clone this repo, because we can't work directly on it yet, because I want us to not just walk through the code, but at the end we will be able to deploy and then also test it. So the first thing we need to do is for us to clone it To do that, I will need to come to code, then copy, and in the folder I want to, we are using like a demo, I will come to git clone, then paste the URL of the repo. So you can see cloning into program example. The actual repo is program examples. So cool, we have it now. We have this cloned, and the next step is for us to open it in our code editor. I'm using VS Code and I'm on Linux and Ubuntu, but the same steps are also working for you if you are on Mac OS, and if you are on Windows. If you have followed this setup and requirement, you would have set up Windows subsystem for Linux, that's WSL, so that you don't have issue following up. The next thing we want to do is, I have this already, so I will cd into it. That's this file, program example. I can just copy it, cd, paste. So I'm in now. I can just use the shortcut for VS Code. You can see it's open up the code. Now let's check the next step. We have it opened. So it said we should select the basic folder in the code editor. So we have the full repo already here now. So we are going inside the basic folder. So inside the basic folder, I said we should locate the Hello-Solana. So this is the actual one we are working on. There are lots of them in there. You already see just under this basic we have a lot. Like I said, in the future I will be looking into some more live code walkthrough. So let me know which one you would like to write in the comment, and also in the Discord Solana channel as well. But for now, we are having a walkthrough on this Hello-Solana. So we go to that folder, and then the next step says we should go to Solang, and then 6 says we should explore the folder. So I just want to check, so we have a straight check. So you can see that, like I told you, for each, because Solana embraces development with multiple blockchains, programming language on the blockchain, so previously by default is Rust, but with time they have included C, and I think maybe Python, and now Solidity through Solang. So that's why for most of those examples you will naturally see these 4 folders. Like you see Anchor, that's a framework for development with Rust, but also for a lot other language like Solang Solidity, you will see it. Then we have the native. That native is for native Rust. The COS is for Python. So if you are on Python, but here we are dealing with the Solang, which is actually for the Solidity based smart contract for Solana. So we can go here. You can see it now. Then these are the actual file we want to deal with. So for me to actually make it much easier, what I would do is that I will get out of this file, because by the time I'll be explaining it may get confusing for you, and I will only show that particular this just Hello-Solana folder so that you can see things much clearly since it's a walkthrough. Let me quickly do that. I may just like to show you so that in case you want to do it, because these things are too much, you may get confused. So this is the one we are actually working on. This is the program, you can see it, basic, and this is the one we are working on. You go there, so Hello-Solana. So this Hello-Solana on Linux, I can just, if I right click here, it will give me option open in terminal. I don't know if you see it on the screen. So it will open that folder directly, you can see it. And if I do the code dots, cool, I can then have the direct folder. Now I have the direct folder, now you can see it. So all other distraction has been removed. So that's cool. At least you can see it now. It's much easier to see than not this. You can compare it to this. So let's bring this down. Yeah, and just deal with the Hello, but you understand that it's inside the program example folder. So we have our terminal set up. Then the next one we want to do, let's go back to the guide, is for us to explore those folder. So let's quickly do that, and that's the essence of the walkthrough anyway. So now usually inside this I've explained the anchor, the native, the serious. We are working with the Solang. So you click on the Solang, you will be able to see this folder. You see Solidity, you see tests, then some other ones you will also see it there, like git ignore, anchor. You should know git ignore as a developer to ensure some things you don't commit them to GitHub. Then anchor.tom, this is another important file. You have the package JSON because you're also dealing with Node.js, and if you have set up the setup environment under the requirement, you know that we also use Node.js and something because we are dealing with TypeScript and things like that, yarn, in order to test the smart contract with Anchor and more. So we need as well then TypeScript config and then the readme. So in the readme you have some information about transaction, what it is, and difference with transaction and instruction and all those things. So we have a video for that separately, so you can check it out. So now let's just focus on the major things we need to understand, which the first most important one here is this Solidity folder. If we go through, you can see it, Solana, Hello-Solana.so. That's the actual file details. You can see it starting from the pragma. Usually assuming you are doing the normal Solidity for Ethereum, you start with like pragma version of the compiler and all those things. So but Solang has, abstracted all that away from here, and because Solana is another different architecture blockchain from EVM, so it's not like EVM compatible. So a lot of things were adjusted in the native Solidity many are used to. So if you go through the intro Solang Solidity course ultimate guide, you would have known all this. So now let's quickly break down, have a walkthrough of the code. In Solana structure, you will always want to specify two major things when you are doing setting up a smart contract or what we call program on Solana. Want to deploy it, there has to be the program ID. So when you see program, is the same on Ethereum like smart contract ID. So program ID, so the program ID need to be specified. Then there had to be a payer, and that's why you are seeing this. There has to be a payer account that will pay, because on Solana your smart contract is classified as an executable account, while there's another account that is non-executable. I've also done Solana account model breakdown. You can go and watch it as well. Now, for the summary sake, if you have not, is that executable account only take the bytecode of your smart contract, nothing more. It will not save its own state data. So if your smart contract has some state data is managing, which it will usually have, it will be created, it will be moved to another separate account called like data account or metadata account. Now in that account, that one is non-executable. It is that smart contract account that will be controlling it. You understand? So that's why it's so essential you have payer and a lot of other things like that. So that's why you will see this inside this kind of Solang Solidity Solana smart contract, but you will not see it like that in your normal native Solidity for Ethereum. Now, as usual, you will declare your contract, which the contract name, and for any Solidity smart contract, every of your code are inside a single box. So Solidity smart contracts are always like a box. Every code that will be run will be inside. Anything outside here is not run as actual smart contract code. So usually that's why at the top here you can import. For example, if you're on Ethereum, you want to do something like this, you may need to import from open source vetted library like OpenCepilane. So you'd have imported them here. But once you start here, this one is meant, you can now say extended as this or things like that. So here now, whatever you now declare within this contract is what will be executed as the actual smart contract, Solidity smart contract code. Anything below here is off. You understand? So that's why you see this bracket, and you can see that's why when I click here, it closes all the code. Now everything you want to run here, we already have the payer, which is pay for the account creation that you want to use. You have an account set up to save data, and also on Solana you pay for rent. So that account storage also need to pay for rent and things like that. A lot more you can learn on the videos I've done on account model. Now we have another one here, which you can see the major one here is the constructor. So what does this constructor do? In Solidity, you know that your constructor is a piece of code. It serves like a function but not actually classified as a full function. It runs just once. It gets executed the first time you deploy your native Solidity smart contract on like EVM, like Ethereum. So it is used to initiate some state. Like, okay, you want to have a kind of token, and you want it to have the particular number of token pre-minted or things like that once the smart contract launch, or you want to set a particular state for the smart contract, you put it inside the constructor. And in Solidity, this constructor only runs once. It doesn't run again. That means once you deploy it, the first time the smart contract deploys, it runs, and then you cannot call that constructor again. That one is like use it to set the state, and then every other thing takes it. So anything you put in this constructor are run just once that the smart contract is being deployed. So if you need actual code like maybe set function, getter function, then those ones comes here. So this will be functions here. So we still look at other ones in the ultimate guide where you deploy your first smart contract. We are able to have about setter and view function, which I also explained. You can go and watch it. It's like a thorough walkthrough as well, that we built that smart contract, work with it together. It has the function for you to switch state and view the state of a state variable, but here we are not going to have that. I just let you know in future walkthrough some we actually have it. So let me return this. So but for now it's just the contract. And what do we have here now is address, program ID, type hello_solana.program ID. We get the program ID by calling type, then the name of the smart contract, Hello-Solana what program. So that's how we get access to this. You can see here. Then the next one you see are just your prints, just like your function that give you a specific things. You know, this is just like you have your console log in JavaScript, so it log things in like your console. So but here is like the log file. When we build and deploy our smart contract on Solana using the Anchor framework, you will see that it will generate a kind of a log. That's to show you, is this thing successful, is it not, and things more like that. So inside there, that's what we are trying to say, that it should print Hello Solana for us inside here. So that's another way to say that okay, our smart contract has already been deployed successfully. Then we have this that help print out our program ID as well, formatted. And sorry for any background noise there. Now I think that's the only major thing we have in this Hello World or Hello Solana program example. So that's it in the solidity aspect. The next one I want to walk you through, let me make sure this is well opened, is the test. Don't forget, if you like this walkthrough, you want more of it, let me know in the comment. Like, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and at the same time head straight to the Discord to ask any question, and you can as well ask in the comment. But if you need more engagement and discussion, in-depth discussion with me, then the Discord Solana dedicated channel is the better and best place to go to. So now we have these tests. This is where you have your test. Usually if you have tried Rust, you know, this is coming from Rust Anchor framework. So usually you have your test. That's how you work with Solana blockchain. So you see this test is like a front-end script that mimic a front-end script that help you to interact with the deploy smart contract to test out the functions and things, if it works or not. So you might not see much in terms of this because there are no actual function outside of just the login. But like I said, if you watch the other one, the ultimate guide, the smart contract we deployed actually had two functions. So, and I believe by the time we are checking other examples we have here, we'll likely see more that have more in-depth use of functions. So for now, let's go through. So this is a test file. You usually have this, the import statement at the top, importing Anchor, the program, then the actual this Solana smart contracts that you can see it, types that's being used. Then this type is like it has been formatted in like a JavaScript form, this particular function and everything. You may not really see that target now, but once we run some instruction with Anchor, you will see the auto-generated .anchor and then the target folder. If you look through the target folder, you see types, then you see this our precise smart contract code, like formatted in TypeScript or JavaScript for us. So that's what is referencing. Then if you look here, we have the describe. This is the actual script that you want to run. Don't forget this .ts is a TypeScript. So that's why we have all these packages on and yarn and all those things like that. So this code actually does the major work. You can see it once I minimize it, just like the contract is like the box. Now inside here, these are the things, script that need to be executed. And the first thing that it does here is to configure the client to use, maybe to point it to the local cluster, or you call it validator or the blockchain, then or the DivNet or the mainnet or the testnet. So if you want to know the differences between these, I've also discussed a breakdown dedicated video for it. But here now, Anchor usually use just local cluster, so that it's within your own system. But if you want to deploy on something you like to show others, but not actually the mainnet, then you may have to configure it inside this anchor tom and point it to DevNet. So now for here they are using the local cluster, so Anchor help you undo all those things, pointing it, setting up provider and all those things. Then the next is it will generate a random key pair for the data account. So that you need, remember I told you when you are creating those smart contract or Solana program, it usually creates two, like the smart contract and the data, executable and non-executable account, then the wallet provider and everything you need. Usually if you have set up your local dev environment, you would have set up a wallet and even follow the guide to airdrop. So this wallet is what will be used anytime you are doing anything building and deployment on through your Solana CLI. So this is what this aspect undo. Then you can see it set the program. Then the last part, if I close this, you see, is where you actually put the function. You actually call the function. Remember, this is to serve as a mimic of your full front end. So we are trying to interact with this smart contract after it has been deployed on chain to see if everything we have here are actually working as expected or as intended. So that's why you have this, the transaction, you know, this like a kind of promise. So you need to await for it to get to be fulfilled, because it takes time. You know, transaction on the blockchain, either local or something, it's not like instant, like, you know, instant. It could take some seconds, some minutes to mine and to validate or do things like that. So those are the things. That's why we need to use this, so that we don't execute before the something is even deployed or things like that. So we have the wallet public key, then the account, and the signer is also included. Then we console log the transaction signature. So assuming we have functions here, some other function like I said outside there, you will also call them within this its TS file. We also have to call them here. So those are the basic thing you need to understand in this. I'll still come back to some of this and maybe all this underlined, but let's move forward. We have seen the Git. Let me open this. We know the Git ignore those things to be ignored. Then the anchor the term, that's another important. This, we are using the anchor framework to undo a lot of things to make the deployment, and instead of you doing a lot of things manually, the anchor framework make it. If you have attempted, have done it, to use native Rust to develop Solana smart contract, you know that it's not it's not a friendly something. Yeah, if you are not super experienced in Rust, I'm telling you, it could get out of hand. So, but thanks to framework like Anchor that abstract away a lot of all those technical things and make it super easy. So, and it's even interesting that Solang was able to be integrated directly into Anchor, so that even abstract a lot of things all away. So you don't even have to dedicate things where is Solang or something. All those things are abstracted away for you and working behind the scene. So we have the feature, the seed, all these things are first. Then Hello-Solana, the wallet. Oh, I've flipped that. So don't forget the program ID. So it needs to be stated there. Then the registry. When we have the provider, I told you this is on Solana, you call it cluster. So when you're hearing cluster is multiple like validators creating the blockchain, which they choose later to create the blockchain. So you have this local DivNet. I think I did a particular graphic illustration of that. Let me see if I can get it out for you. Cool. So this is one of my deep dive SIMD on Solana improvement protocol article. So if you scroll through, I created this to make it easier. You can see, let me move here. So you can see this is cluster. So it's multiple validators. They choose leader, and the leader is the one that actually, produce the block for that time. I think Ep1 or something has been called. So then to produce the block and add it up to the Solana blockchain or ledger. Yeah, so you can see it. So when you hear cluster, so this cluster can be mainnet, can be DivNet, can be testnet, or local net, or what do we call it here? Yeah, I got it. So it's local net. And then the wallet, I told you, without that wallet you might have issue. That's why I said it's so important you should go and get the configuration under the requirement done. If you skip it and you have not been following my courses on helping you transition from Ethereum Solidity to Solidity on Solana, you will likely have issue because you need this to point to this wallet. So this is actually pointing to the wallet. Then we have the scripts that will be run. So I told you yarn and all those things. So this will run the TypeScript config JSON and then execute the test for us. So this for test, and remember this is the test script for us. Yeah. The other thing here is just package JSON. You can just ignore this. Those are the major things you need: the Solidity folder, the tests, and the anchor term. Any other one we want to check will later be auto-generated, but this is what you will have. Always remember there is a dedicated channel in our Discord server. I've created it to give support to all my content relating to Solana. So go in there in the Discord, join it, and go to under blockchain. You will see Solana. So you can click it and ask your question on any of this guide if you get stuck. So, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video on your social media to help more people, developers, Solidity developer, transitioning to Ethereum. Now it's now time. I think we should go back. Let's see the guide. We've gone through the test, the anchor. It's now time for us to actually put the code to work, deploy it, and then test it. So at least after the walkthrough, we could be able to see how it works live. So the next thing we need to do is we need to install dependencies. We are also dealing with Node.js, Yarn, and all those things. So we need those dependencies. We go here. We are already, in case you are opening this and you are doing it directly, you will need to do new terminal and then go cd one by one. That means you have to cd into basics, then cd, if you ls this you will see it, then cd into, we are dealing with Hello-Solana, this one. So you have to cd into it, cd Hello-Solana. Then if we list the folder there, you can see the same one. You need to also cd again to Solang, cd Solang. You see the long journey. If you ls again, then you can see that we are now inside the same anchor term package, JSON and all those things. Then that's when you can start this next step, which is to install the dependency. But you know, I've made that easier for you. I just show you in case you are following that, so you don't get confused. But if you have also opened it like this, then make it super easier for you. It would have already, you see it, program examples, basic, then the Solang demo, no, program examples, the basic, the Hello-Solana. So we're already inside Hello-Solana. That's why if you do the ls, you see that it's the same thing now, the anchor native as you saw it here. You see it. So we're on the same page, whichever style you decide to go through. So I'm back to this much simpler interface. The next thing we need to do, yarn install, to install all our dependency. And I want to show you something. If you notice, you will notice you've been getting all these errors. Can't find module, can't do this. All these ones can't find describe. All these are caused because of the dependency. Remember, their TypeScript depend on all this Node.js yarn stuff. So you need to install it first. That's why the moment you do it right, you will see all these disappear. If this didn't disappear and you try to start running your test, you will discover there will be issues. Let's even give it a try. For us to run the test, we use the anchor test. And usually when you want to deploy, what you need is like about 3 steps. You need to build it, which will be like anchor build, then anchor deploy. That's the second step. After you deploy on the blockchain, that's when you can now run your test to interact with it. So that's like 3 things in one. But we just anchor test, then you get everything done step by step. So let's do that. Sorry, anchor, I miss N. Anchor test, the spelling. Oh, you can see the error now, which I can point out. Is good I even did this with you. So let me go back here where we are. We know inside there we have even come in inside the Solang, but in this second one I've forgotten to cd inside Solang. You know, we have 4 major something here. So that's why it's saying it's missing. Sorry for that. So cd into Solang. Yeah, so now that we have Solang, can I just increase this? So here now we have Solang ls. Good. So we now have the anchor package, solidity test, and things like that. So let's do that again. The anchor test. Then it should try to work. Now you can see it. Now it's deploying contract, unable to get latest blockchain. This is another issue based on, you know, you are deploying, then you want to test. Maybe the test is working faster than the actual. That's why you are using the await. And so this usually happen to me severally. So you just wait like a minute or two and try to run the same thing. You see it's found the tests, and you can see it now. So that same error, that one is fixed. Unable to, it has been able to try to deploy, but you see now that we are having issue with yarn and package and all those things, and we still have all these things in red. So we are not able to run our test at all. So for us to do that, that's why I showed you that you need to run the yarn. So you need to run yarn install first inside the Solang folder. Please don't forget, inside that, we are dealing with Solang folder. Inside of this 4, under the Hello-Solana program walkthrough we are doing example, we have it written in different formats: Anchor, Native, COS, and Solang. So we are doing Solang with Solidity. So inside it, make sure you have CD inside Solang, this particular folder. Then you can run yarn install. So this will depend on your network. It usually do take a while. So it's almost done. You can see it, like I told you, it takes a while depending on your internet connection. So it could just take 2-3 minutes if you have super fast internet, but on average it could take more. Good, we have it done. You can see it successful, saved. And if you notice, did you see that all these things immediately, they are now visible? You can see them. You see it. You see that they were already previously missing. You can see it, that this that was also not found is now found, and that's how you can execute it now without errors. You can see it now. For you to confirm this, you can rerun the yarn install again. It will tell you, you see this time, that already up to date, done. You can see now, but this one was done in 162 seconds. So maybe about 3 minutes or 4 minutes or so. So that's the actual step. Now you have it, everything ready for you to now attempt the deployment. So for you to deploy, like I told you, the sheet fastest command to use everything in one is just to use the anchor test command. Yeah, so just use the anchor test command. You can see just like we saw it before. Cool, we just did it. Cool. Yeah, so you can see now that I said passed, initialized, passed. So it was able to deploy it successfully. You can see the transaction signature, and this was done in less than 3 seconds. That's how fast Solana, our blockchain and cluster, is to deploy smart contracts and things like that. So though this is local, it will always be super faster, but this gives you at least a bit of some taste and things like that. So that's it. Now you can see it's run through and deploy it successfully. So we've been able to have a thorough walkthrough, but before we go there, still another aspect I want to show you where this was outputted. This Hello-Solana was actually outputted. But before that, make sure you subscribe, tap the notification bell. Please share this video. The more we share, the more we reach on social media or those things, the more we also get support and partnership for the in-depth videos, and the more we are able to release them free to be helpful for Web3 developers. Now, that being said, if you get stuck, head straight to the Discord as well, where in the dProgrammingUniversity Discord we have a dedicated channel. I've already created it for Solana. Yeah, so any of the programming content, video, courses or things we do on Solana, you can always open there to get support. So if you notice something, you will notice previously we had just these two files, this Solidity and test, but now we have about 5 .anchor node_module Solidity target and test. Let me minimize this, you will see them. Can you see we now have 5 of them? So this .anchor was auto-generated and is an important folder for us, so which we'll check then. So also I told you then this target, if you go on under the types and click on it, you will see the TypeScript breakdown of our smart contract, which this was referencing here inside the test. So just want to show you that. Then this anchor is another, this node module is just node module files to run all those yarn and all those things, so you can ignore that one. It's not what we need. There's a lot of files in there, you can see it auto generated. So here we go to program logs. Inside it you will see that particular smart contract we deploy. Don't forget inside there we have the program ID here. Let me minimize. Yeah, the program ID. So you will see it here, click on it, and then it will show you the breakdown of how the transaction you sent to the blockchain was processed, like step by step, and the output. You can see status okay. Then at the end of the day we have Hello-Solana, so you can see it now. So for you to be sure that that was what generated it, that's the exercise you have. Always love to have an exercise at the end. Go change this, deploy, try to do the test. That's how you will learn and get more solid. Do the exercise by following the same thing we've done, and change this hello to your particular Discord username, so that others will not just copy whatever you paste. It has to be, when I'm checking, I will see that it's the same thing with your Discord username. So you should just say maybe hello dProgramming, your Discord name. So here now, from here, let's go back inside here, Solidity, this one, and then come back here and say Hello-Solana. From Fosky DPU, that's the Programming University. You can see now, save it. It's an on-chain program, so anytime you can't expect to see or interact with it, and no, you have to redeploy it to be able to see it. So let me show you live as is deploying. So we come over here again, run the anchor test again. Remember, it does the 3 things: build, deploy, and then run the test. So let's go. Begin to watch this log area. You see if this gets successful. Do you see that it's clearing and it's showing boom, done? And then you see here log Hello-Solana from Fosky DPU. Do you see it now that this is actually live? This is what was deployed successfully. So that's it for this walkthrough video series, and I hope with more feedback during the exercise, let me see in the Discord, and if you get stuck, then I will likely be also coming up with more, because I want you to get solid as I myself I journey to, expand my Solidity knowledge from just Ethereum and EVM blockchain is so interesting to start using it in non-EVM environment natively, like Solana, with the help of Solang plus Anchor as well. So that's it for this video walkthrough. Hope to see you in the next. Subscribe, tap notification bell. I remain Solomon Foske. Please always keep the programming spirit and alive, your only assurance to succeed as a programmer in the long term. And please always do good to humanity and nature with your programming and coding skill, and not evil, to make the world a better place for us all. That's it. I will see you in the next one. Peace and love your way anywhere you are in the world. Bye.